Welcome to Ragnar Riders Shop Talk, the ultimate pit stop for all things two-wheeled and roaring. We are mostly ordinary guys who live and breathe the motorcycle lifestyle. From our personal journeys to gripping product and accessory reviews, bike builds that redefine the road, the latest industry buzz, and a sneak peek into our future travels, consider this your front row seat to our motorcycling odyssey. So kick back, relax, and let the engines roar as we dive deep into the world of chrome, leather, and the sweet symphony of the open highway. Welcome to Ragnar Riders Shop Talk, where the rubber meets the road and the stories unfold in the wind.
All right, welcome to Ragnar Riders Shop Talk update, day number 2. Randy B.
DJ Seeley.
John Woody.
All right, it is about
2 a.m.-ish.
Yeah, 1:40.
It's late 30, and we just got in from a long day of walking and talking and interviewing and lots of different things, and we have had a blast catching up with some of our friends and our partnerships and I guess friends overall. And so I guess basically what would you take from today's venture, Mr.
Well,
Seeley?
time out, you left out the best part of how we started the day off.
How did we start the day off?
Right up A1A to
Oh.
Oceanfront, had breakfast.
Absolutely. Bloody Marys at Ocean Bar and Grill, maybe some of the best there is. The ultimate. They call it the ultimate. You get a charcuterie board of vegetables
Shrimp,
and shrimp. Hang
bacon.
on a minute. Am I looking sideways?
It's for you, Kim. Snap. Snap.
Kay Johnson, that's just for you, Android person. All right, so we rode up A1A. We got some breakfast. We took the Ormond Scenic Loop back to destination Daytona.
And it wasn't flooded.
It was not flooded.
It wasn't. Got our picture made on the loop.
Yeah.
AboutDon.com or yoursnapshot.com.
Yep.
And our beautiful bearded mug, well, some of us bearded mugs are on there. Anyway, had a great morning. It's been cloudy all day, a little bit of rain, but hey, you know what? When you're on two wheels and you're in Daytona for the first rally of the year, it's still a good time.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Seeley, what do you have? What do you take from the day? What are we? Who we talked to? And
I mean, good day. We hung out with Kevin at Reinhardt for a little bit. Jason over at
Coastal Moto.
Coastal Moto.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry that left me for a second. Been a long day, but met the guys at Lindahl Brakes. Probably going to stop back by and see them tomorrow. Daytona Audio, going back to see them here in the next couple of days. Spend a little bit more time with them. They were open, but not really kicked off for the rally yet. Who else we hang out with?
Let's see.
We
Oh,
stopped by and saw Ragnar at KST.
we did. Yep.
But they were slammed on day -1.
Yep.
Yeah, -1.
I mean, you know, today was I guess, pre-rally last day.
Yeah.
The rally starts officially tomorrow. And, I mean, those that were open were slammed.
Yeah.
I mean, they were busy. I mean, you know, there were several that were not open. But the ones that we stopped into were putting on exhaust, slip-ons, sound systems, you know, whatever it might be. They were definitely doing some work. John, would you say that I don't know? We spent how many hours walking around destination Daytona today, talking to people?
I mean, all in all, it's probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. You know, of course, I guess we stopped and ate lunch at one point there at Saints and Sinners, but I guess 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, it was a good day. You know.
Well, lots of stuff going on over there. I think that's a place that, you know, we've been there numerous times now, and I don't know that truly I'll speak for myself, that I have ever been over there in all the days that I've spent and seen probably everything. You know, in the fall that we've been there, the rally's a little smaller. You know, the vendors bring their smaller tents or trailers or whatever. Definitely the spring is a little bigger, but it's just so big. It's huge. I mean, you know, they cover a lot of yardage. I don't know. I don't know the word to really say.
Acreage.
But, acreage. Yeah, I guess that's right. Um, Anything you want done to your bike, my God, you can get done. Rick rack. You know. What is it? Suicide choppers and their sissy bars and backrests and handlebars, KST and their bars and sound systems and I mean just all kinds of stuff.
Who did you stop and talk to? Dark Horse and
Yeah, talked to Dark Horse Cycle Solutions.
Yep.
Talked to them a little bit about a potential motor build I might be considering. I don't know. It's a ways down the line, but something I've been knocking around, wanted to learn a little bit about, and enjoyed talking to those guys. You know, one thing that is encouraging, I guess, is all these people, man. They're motorcycle people.
Yeah.
And enjoy talking motorcycles with you. Eager to teach you what they know, and teach you about their products that they're selling or making, whatever the case may be. That's what I enjoy certainly about coming during the what I would consider the pre-rally day -1. As John mentioned, you're able to come. Things aren't as busy. It's fresh. It's first rally of the season, so everybody's excited to kind of get rally season kicked off, and so they're eager to share and talk about their product. The time that we spent with Lindell Brakes today was probably the most I've talked about brakes. Learned a lot from those guys, and really had not considered doing a brake upgrade on my bike, but now after talking to them, learning a little bit about them and the product, I'm gonna do a little bit of research and see if that's the direction I want to go. But
well, GB wasn't open today, so we'll have to stop back by, talk to them.
Yeah.
GB is Galfer is and Lindell are probably two of your more prominent aftermarket brakes for motorcycles as far as kind of customization. When you say, I mean, there are some other stuff out there, but they offer color, anodized coloring, different sizes, 11.8 for your typical bagger, which is factory, 11.5 for your rear. They go up to as much as a 13 and 14. And, anywhere from just kind of a soft, gradual, casual rider braking to more of a performance type braking where you're going to be hitting them hard, with your twisties and curves and things of that nature. But I agree with your Lindell comment. I have done a lot of research on them and I have looked at their product. One of the things that held me back on really deciding on them was the fact that, and I asked that question, which got us started in our conversation today with them. If I buy your product, do you only warranty the product if I buy your brake pads?
Mm-hmm.
His response was pretty cool. It was pretty upfront, and he said yes, but only this direction. In other words, he gave an example. If you buy the rotor, it's solid black or it's solid gold. If you want to keep the color and have that kind of guaranteed to keep that color, then you have to buy their softer pads that are softer on the brake. Someone that's kind of a casual stopper, no performance, etc. But if you're a performance and you're a kind of and I know all three of us have different bikes that do different things. But if you're going to clamp down on that brake pretty hard and you're twisting and curving, you want to have better brake pads, and that's going to scrub off the color.
Mm-hmm. But
then you got a contrast.
Even in that, aesthetically, they had some examples where that had worn.
Yeah.
And it gave contrast that
Agreed.
I thought in the right setup with what you're doing with your bike, I thought it looked even better than just the straight black or the straight gold.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different than the wheel, right? Because they offer a solid black, solid chrome, or a machined, which is your black and kind of stainless look. And it's a pretty cool look.
Yeah. I really enjoyed, and I know this is kind of just an ancillary product of motorcycling. Uh, but we spent probably an hour with Teffy at Condor
Yep.
Chalks. Randy, you had an issue, not really an issue, but just looking for a solution
Mm-hmm.
with a wheel size on one of it was your fenders,
Right.
and some clearances. They worked through, Teffy worked with us, talked through the problem, and found a solution. I got a problem with my trailer that I customized and put the E-track in, recessed, and he's working with me. We're going to get together after the rally, and he's basically going to customize me a solution to go with my trailer, so that I can still do a center line mount with my 3 E-tracks that are running down center line. You know, and going back to a previous episode that we recorded, that's the kind of customer service that you get from these kind of vendors, and going to these rallies. You develop those relationships, develop those contacts. I mean, Teffy gave me his personal cell phone number and said, "Hey, call me after the rally, send me some photos, send me some dimensions. We'll fab something for you.
We'll figure something out."
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it really wasn't any different. I had a conversation with the guys over at Trask. You know, I've got the Trask air cleaner on one of my bikes, and I wanted to get the Velocity Stack powder coated to kind of match some of the other trim colors that I had. And both the dealership that did my build and my powder coater were like, "No, you can't really powder coat that." And then I talked to Trask, and they're like, "Yeah, you can, you can't. The problem is the magnets on the Velocity Stack, but if you'll shoot me an email after the rally, I'll send you a Velocity Stack and the magnets, and if you'll get it powder coated and then put the magnets on, you'll be good to go. Just shoot me an email. Here's my card." You know, and that's the kind of service that we're experiencing once you sit down and get to meet these people and meet the vendors. So, it's pretty cool.
And it really doesn't matter where we see them at. You know, we've seen them in Sturgis, we've seen them in Thunder Beach at Panama City, we've seen them in Daytona and other places. When you walk up, you know, they do a good job at recognizing their customers. And it's a, "Hey, you know, how you doing?" And it's a big handshake and a bump or whatever. And, you know, these guys know that relationships not only are part of their business, but it also sells their product. You know, we give shout outs on here to a lot of products, but let me be the first to say, of the 3 of us, and these guys will agree with me, we don't get paid by anybody. We'd love to get paid from some of you guys, but, you know, Dixon, we all wear Dixon stuff. We believe in their product. It's a cool product. It's a very good quality. You know, Reinhardt, you know, all these other audio, suspension, whatever it may be. We give shout outs because, you know, we talked to him. John spent some time today talking to Fox Suspension because he's got an LRS that he's interested in possibly doing some stuff on. I mean, just to be honest with you, the motorcycle world in general, in the whole gamut of all that's out there, I'm
we
interested.
talked to the CEO of Buckslide, you know, and she took time to talk to us. I mean, it repeats. I mean, everybody we talk to, and this is kind of the amazing thing to me. These vendors deal and see so many people. I mean, the rally season starts officially tomorrow. It runs all the way through second week in November, I think.
Yeah, I think Galveston, Lone Star ends the week after, Thunder Beach.
Too. Yeah,
that's it.
So I mean, and think about the thousands of people they deal with.
Yeah,
and you know, the 3 of us like to think that we're
pretty important.
We're pretty important, right? I mean, that's what we'd like to think.
We're a big deal, in case you don't know.
But in reality, we ain't. But everybody we walked up to, I mean, you know, a lot of them were giving us the bro hug. "Hey, man, great to see you. How's this situation?" I mean, they had real memories of dealing with us before. That blows me away because think about how many people they touch.
Yep.
That's just great customer service.
It is, and you know, it's kind of like when we rolled into, I don't know, I think John was the, because you were on the phone, I think John was the one with me in Daytona Audio. Tony wasn't available. We're going to hope to get back and visit with Tony, but his wife was there. She kind of gave us the rundown on how they acquired Daytona Audio.
Yeah, they gave us the history of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just phenomenal. She was like, "Hey, you know, are you recording, you know?" And then, and she started just kind of spilling. They've offered us to come into their shop in the next couple of days and video them doing some installs. Look, the motorcycle community in itself is I guess I'm gonna, I guess, kind of sound stupid here, but it is a small community yet large. The vendors, the riders, we are definitely a community. All of you guys out there that may be listening to us, you're listening because you share the same passion we do in riding, upgrading, building, or just going to rallies, whatever it may be. That's our goal here, is just to provide information to the best of our ability to help you in some fashion, whatever you may be doing or experiencing in your walk, or in your life cycle of riding. Do you guys think that, um, and I know that we've talked about this a lot off camera and off mic, but do you think that you could ever get to a place where you could say, I'm not going to go to any more rallies because I think I've done and seen it all? Or do you think that each rally presents its own opportunity to meet and greet and fun? And of course, there's always the one guy that's dancing at Saints and Sinners at 10:30 at night that gives us a little bit of video footage and fun and laughter. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Is you see one and done, or is it like, no, this is a lifestyle? This is, maybe I don't go to all of them, but it kind of is.
I think that's a very interesting question, and we've kind of talked about it before because we've gotten through with some rally seasons before and thinking, I just don't know if I'm going to go back to that. But so I don't know that it's a lifestyle. I definitely wouldn't describe it as that, but it still provides, for me, a break from reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Just to kind of escape and be around like-minded people talking about things that we're enthusiastic about, and that we want to learn and gather more knowledge for.
Right.
And that's what's enjoyable and keeps bringing me back.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think that John, and you guys feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but John's demeanor about motorcycles is he knows what he wants, and he aspires to plan and then get it done. DJ has an agenda, and he likes to dig deep into the mechanical world. And I'm very superficial for the most part. I like what looks good and what's kind of going on at the moment, and then I may change 20 minutes later, and because that's what's popping or popular. But with all that being said, wouldn't you say that that's kind of a sum of the motorcycle community in general? Is that you have your guys that kind of are serious. You have your guys that are kind of like, they take this as a vacation opportunity to escape and get away. We see those that are out there just walking around, and I don't think they're buying crap. They're looking and just enjoying it. It ain't about whether I've got the money or not. It's just that I'm just away from work. I'm away from home. I'm just having fun doing something I like with people I like.
Yeah, we joke about the guy last night at Saints and Sinners that was up on the picnic table dancing. Great band playing last night. I didn't catch their name, but kind of 80s rock band, throwback band.
Yep.
And that lead guitarist was slamming that thing.
Oh, he was rocking.
It was really good. But there were several times when I saw some people just cutting loose and having fun. And that made me smile, because sometimes we get so caught up in corporate America, the rat race of life, and to just see people letting loose, having a good time, smiling, and not fear of judgment of others, if you will. And I hate to use that term, but it's a realistic term that we deal with in our society these days.
That's right.
And so when you're around like-minded people and that everybody's just respectful, and it put a smile on my face to see that last night at Saints and Sinners. And even in a way, see, tonight on Main Street we were there. Now, we got some entertainment. I think we may have some videos that we may share on TikTok. But Spring Breakers meet Bike Week 2004 or 2024. That was entertaining.
Yeah, those kids have no idea what's coming tomorrow.
And I don't think they were flying back to Michigan until Saturday, so they get another day out tomorrow.
They thought they had arrived at Bike Week on day -1.
I'm not for sure when they did their due diligence
No,
Right.
that they researched that we want to go to Daytona Beach for our spring break, that they knew that it coincided with a bike week.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Y'all got to follow that
Yeah,
TikTok once we post it.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's
post it.
hilarious.
And just to give you a little bit of a kind of a quickie to know what's going on is it was, I don't know what they call it.
Hurricane shot.
Hurricane shot. All right, shot, splash of water, pop in the face. Oh my God, this guy got knocked out. I'm just gonna tell you, his eyes.
What was that quote from Friday, the movie? What's his name? Got knocked up.
Yeah. Yeah. So we saw a couple of them happen, and it was like pop, 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 boom, boom, ha, ha, ha. But then this one guy was like, I want to go. Can I get done, please? So DJ and I were like, you're 18 and stupid, so here's $30. We'll help you
No,
out,
he wasn't
big guy.
18. He was 21.
Well, he
Yeah.
was 21 because he
Barely.
was drinking. So, but yeah, she rolled up on him, and he took his shot. I don't know. Does cold cock? I mean, is that still a time?
Dude.
She cold cocked him, and his
he wasn't
eyes
knocked
rolled.
out, but he was stunned.
He sat down for about 30 minutes.
Oh, my
I mean,
gosh.
and just was like,
Dude,
I mean, it was.
I don't know that little
Oh, my
120-pound
God.
bartender smacked him.
She called herself Red. All right, so Red put a red on him. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was.
he might as well have caught a stiff arm from Bo Jackson.
Oh my goodness! I don't know. Mike Tyson would have been very proud, I can tell you that. And
Yeah.
it was an open hand. It wasn't even a closed fist. It was an open hand slap to the face.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
I'm going to forward it to Joe Rogan and see if we can get some commentary on it.
I mean,
Oh,
that
my
flock
God.
of seagulls haircut that he had, that flip just went whoop, right across his face.
He looked like a Greg Brady. That's what he
Yeah.
looked like.
Yeah.
And when she popped him, like his hair flopped, his head moved, and then he stood in the corner for about 30
That flow
minutes.
turned into a jolt.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And she just went back to business. It was just business as usual for her. I mean, she didn't think anything about it. But
Yeah, best $20 I've spent.
oh my God, my goodness. Look, that's the thing about it is, last fall, my brother-in-law and I, shout out to Jeremy, he and I came down and we just stood on people watching is one of my greatest hobbies. I love motorcycling. I love fishing. But I love to people watch. I'll go to Nashville during the holidays and sit at the Opryland Hotel and just people watch. We've done it before. Go to the beach and people watch. I come down here, and yes, I love to be around motorcycles and all things motorcycles. But let me tell you something. About 30 to 40% of my fun down here is people watching.
What is it? Panama City? What's our Salty Dogs where we hang out?
Yes,
There all the
yeah, I
time?
can sit on the porch at Salty Dogs and
Salty
watch
Goat.
people
Salty
Salty
Goat.
Goat. That's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Salty Goat.
And just watch people forever. But tonight was just, not a lot of. It wasn't very crowded, so it's fun to go down there. You kind of can walk around with a lot of freedom, but there's still the human aspect in everything. And when alcohol gets involved, fun comes out, laughter comes out.
Sure.
I don't condone some of the things that were, but I get a chuckle out of it no matter what. So, all right, guys, look, day number 2 wrapping up. It's been fun. Tomorrow we've got more activities going on and more things, and we'll do the same thing tomorrow night. And hopefully in the next week or 2, we'll have all this out on podcast or YouTube, and you guys will be able to relive, and we'll get to relive as well some of the things we saw and some of the things we experienced. So, last words?
Yeah, so tomorrow we might try and make it over to the Speedway. Weather's not great for us. We got cloudy most of the day today, a little bit of rain. Road glide got a little wet, bless her heart. But,
First time?
yeah, I think it's probably first time for me on
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, but we made it through it. But tomorrow, the weather forecast is a little better. Going to be cloudy, about 20% chance of rain. So we're not really sure what the day holds tomorrow. But if we make it over the Speedway, surely more to come. Harley dropped a new color today.
Enthusiast,
The whiskey tobacco fade
Tobacco,
enthusiast. Pretty excited to see that. Might try and talk Mama into a new tri-glide. So
Woo!
Y'all
Yeah.
heard it here.
Hey,
Y'all heard it.
That's right.
hey, it seems to be pretty sharp. I think they dropped an Ultra Limited and Lowrider S or
Yeah.
ST.
ST.
So, it looks pretty cool. Excited to see that.
And retro to the Hydroglide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're throwing out a lot of stuff because they realize it's the beginning of the riding season. So I'm sure that, if they can throw anything out that's going to grab attention for purchasing,
now's time to do it.
Now's time to do it. Yeah. Um, the Speedway will bring Harley's big truck and trailer and their big show that they put on. I don't know if they'll be doing. We talked about this earlier. I don't know if they'll be doing test rides over there, but they'll definitely have
I'm
their.
sure they
I'm
will.
sure
If
they
the
are.
weather,
Yeah.
Them and BMW, I'm sure will be
Yeah.
set up to do that tomorrow.
if the weather's appropriate, I imagine they will. Teddy Morse's today. I saw a lot of bikes. They have one thing that surprised me was they've customized a lot of new bikes that I'm not used to seeing at other dealerships. They've had
They
I
had
guess
that back
Monty
in
Roach.
October.
Yeah.
Monty Roach come in, do a lot of pinstriping and branding and stuff on them. That's pretty cool. So if you're in, check them out. I'm sure they'll have bikes to sell.
Yeah, I think that I talked to Keith Manton, and I'll give Keith a shout out, even though we never really were able to kind of finalize an interview or a talk to. I mean, they're busy, and I think he's in charge of their internet managing of sales. But he was trying to work it out to where we could actually get him, kind of corner him and talk to him. But look, I'm impressed. This is our second or third spring kind of in a row. We've been to 2 or 3 falls in a row. This spring so far, and the rally hasn't even started, definitely by far has more motorcycles on their floor.
Yeah.
And their floor
Yeah.
being outside, inside, wherever. I mean, and like DJ mentioned, they've taken brand new CVOs now, not just your average, motorcycle. They've taken your CVOs and they've pinstriped them. And I got to give them kudos.
Dude, they're sharp.
They did a good job. If I was in the
Yeah.
market for a 2023, 2024 CVO with the VVT and the 121, I got to tell you, I'd be looking in that direction.
But it wasn't
because
just the CVOs. I mean, they had Road Glide and Street Glide
they did,
standards.
yeah, they did
I mean,
others as well.
They still had some 23 STs
Yep.
out there that had some custom pinstriping, and I'm gonna tell you, some of those graphics and artwork, they're on point, and
Yep.
they really look good.
Yeah,
Really
it
look
was
good.
all done in good taste. It wasn't like they just got some cheesy something to make it look. The color combinations, there
Yeah.
was the platinum silver, had some white, and then had some orange, and then had some black. Then I saw, I think what was the other CVO that they had some colors on?
That new sunset orange, I think is what, or
Yeah,
fire. I can't remember
Yeah.
the cover, but they had a black and then another kind of a softer yellow orange
Yeah.
pinstriping. Had 2 different options on that, and then that black really popped on
It
that.
did,
It
it did.
really.
And they had their
just
own
really
custom,
defined the lines. It looked really good.
They had done their own custom bikes in general. Like they
Yeah.
had 2 freewheelers that was blue and kind of a burgundy red that to match, and then they had, I think, either street lights, road lights to match those that were sitting there. Anyway, something that they had painted themselves and kind of brought to life. Look, again, shout out to them because they host this thing for the most part for Destination Daytona, and we haven't even started the rally, and we'll give them kudos for some of the great, what we're seeing great. It seems to be bigger than last spring. I mean, last spring was pretty good size, but this year may be a little bit, as far as vendors and their number of motorcycles. I mean, we were here. John didn't make it last spring, but we were here, and it seems to be just a little bit bigger. So, hey, lot to see. Don't know when you'll hear this podcast, but look, if you're in the Daytona area and you're looking for a bike, I mean, Teddy's is definitely a place you've got to go to at least give them a chance to provide something or give you a package potentially.
Yeah, sure. And if obviously if you're listening to this podcast, then you're into motorcycling. If you haven't made it to a rally, I mean, you owe it to yourself to check it out. There's new stuff. we talked to Legend today. They've got a new cartridge for their front end that's come out that I had not heard about yet. And I stay pretty in tune to that.
It's probably going to cost you about
Jason,
$1,000.
probably got something back about G. But Jason over at Coastal Moto has a set of wheels that was one of one.
Yeah,
one, custom.
There's all kinds of stuff like that. Just check it out, man.
It's opportunity that you get to go. Even if you go into Milwaukee Leathers, I know you went in there, bought a set of gloves, a pair of gloves.
I need to replace my little gloves.
I didn't get to see, and I'm hoping that they are either at Cabbage Patch, if we make it out there, or Speedway. But I haven't seen Nasty Baggers. They've got a lot of.
They're usually at Cabbage Patch.
Well, last year in the fall they were at Destination Daytona.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they were Abby. We met Abby. She was one of their sales reps there.
They
Now,
on the other side of the
they
street?
were also at Cabbage Patch. They had a location at both locations.
Okay.
Or it had a tent at both locations. But anyway, some of these places, and DJ just brought it up. Shout out to these guys who took the time to talk to us.
Yeah.
Kevin, actually, we sat down, and that will come soon. That will be a podcast and chatting with him. Maybe we'll interject that in one of these pretty soon, giving us some insight on him. Jason, Tony, and the guys at Daytona and Condor. I don't know, just a lot of folks we talked to today. It was a great day.
Yeah, and it'll show once we do put that together. But like we spent a lot of time talking with them about really their process through the rallies, the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
their setup, their logistics, and that just gave us a different insight of what happens behind the scenes from a standpoint of setting up these tents, bringing their trucks in, their trailers, their staffing, their supply chain, and the logistics of all, and then rolling it all up and heading to the next one.
Yeah.
From now till November. I mean, it's nonstop for them.
And
so
you would say
we're
business guys. I mean, from professionals in our business. DJ and I both own our own business. John is a executive in the corporate world, and we understand the relationship importance, and being able to talk to a lot of these guys. Where a lot of you guys will come to the rally. And you'll stroll in there on day 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, stay for 3 or 4 days, and y'all roll out. And all you see is kind of what they're installing and what they're selling. But you don't realize that, like, some of these guys are there a week before the rally starts. And then they're there 4 or 5 days afterwards because they got to set up. We did learn that the tractor trailers come in first. They're given about a 6-day window early. And then
it's almost a race for them.
It is. If you miss it, then you suffer the consequences of when they have a chance to lift you in,
or getting you in and in place.
And then after the tractor trailers, then you've got pickup truck trailers that pull fifth wheels in, which is Jason and their guys. And he actually admitted today that they were late, so they had to depend upon a forklift to pull them in because they didn't have room to pull their truck in and do their business. And then you got tents and all that stuff. So there's a lot of logistics. So when you walk around to these guys, even if you don't buy something, kind of show a little appreciation for, I guess, their efforts to just come down and kind of be there for us as enthusiasts and bikers.
Yeah.
To put on a show, I guess, so to speak.
I don't need you to take the time, but if you wanted to take the time and see how many rallies are out there, and Daytona being the kickoff for rally season, if you want to call it that. I mean, some of these guys, this is the beginning of their work year, and they're going to have very little time at home from now until August, September, October, depending on how many rallies they play into. But from now until then, it's pretty well stacked every weekend, every other weekend, or whatever. It obviously takes time for them to move from one to the other, but there's a lot going on.
Well, to give it perspective, I think Sakurama did a pretty good job of putting together a list of starting tomorrow through November of all the rallies across the nation, and it fills up a full 1 page, and it's fine print.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so that you can Google that, search it, and see that listing that Sakurama put together, a little flyer. But but it's a full page of fine print of rallies, and they're hitting a lot of these.
I remember back, and I'll make this brief, but I remember back during COVID when it hit, just as soon as COVID hit, I lived in Texas a couple of stints, and the Houston rodeo, which is the biggest rodeo in the country, was getting ready to kick off. And COVID and the government kind of shut the country down. 90% of the guys that go to the rodeo vendor wise, like they make their year's salary in that 2 week period that the rodeo is going on. I mean, they if they don't have that, they go out of business. The rest of the year is just anything they can do is just kind of a bonus. They what they earn in that 2 weeks or whatever that rodeo period is, and that was a big deal. The payroll protection thing came out, and I won't get into all that, but that helped them in some fashion. But I said that to say this: a lot of these vendors, I mean, yes, they have brick and mortar, like Costa Moto and Sounds. They have brick and mortar in certain places, but many of these guys, I mean, 70 to 90% of their dependency of their income comes off of these rallies, and they travel all across the country, all the way. Like we talked with Suicide Choppers. I've talked to Michael Cash numerous times, and Michael, shout out to you guys, make a great product. But they come from Sioux City Falls, South Iowa. They come from Sioux City, Iowa, just below South Dakota, and there's no short distance to get them anywhere to where rallies are at. Rallies are typically in your southern states on the coast, board, kind of scenario. There's no short way to get them
in the
there.
fall, Coastal Moto was here all the way from Cali. So
Yeah, I mean, so it's anyway, for these guys to get here and go to all that energy and stuff. I mean, if you need something, hey, go check them out, because usually they'll do an install for basically nothing, if not free, and maybe you get a 10% discount on their product. Who knows? So.
Yeah. So look, if y'all got any questions or want more information, feel free to shoot us an email, rrshoptalk@gmail.com. We'll be glad to share anything we know, or share a contact, or maybe give you some pointers as to what direction you might need to go to catch some of these vendors, or who might be eager to kind of show you the way. But yeah, certainly shoot us an email. Be glad to help out.
Absolutely, and I do believe, honestly, with some of the relationships we've built, that if you do reach out to us with some of these guys and we put you in touch with them, you mention our names, I'm pretty sure we can get you, even if it's just a tax discount, 10%, something like that. I'm pretty sure we can get you some help. No, we don't have any sponsorship from any of these guys. We're just three guys that enjoy motorcycles, but we know good business when we see it, and a lot of these guys are working hard out there for you and I as motorcycle enthusiasts. So, John, last words?
No, I mean, it was a great day. It did kind of stink that ended with a little bit of misty rain, but no, it was a great experience, and looking forward to the next couple of days. I'm going to have to head back early. Not going to be able to stay the full duration that y'all are staying, but I'm going to make the most of these next 2 days before I head back.
So you're not going to be here for the full 17 days?
No, I'm not going to be here for
All right.
17 days.
17 days for us. That's a running joke. That's a big fat heck no, that ain't happening. But we're going to be here. DJ and I will be here till Wednesday morning, I guess, and heading out. John's heading back Sunday. We're going to get you guys as much content as we can. TikTok is RR Shop Talk. Instagram is rr.shoptalk. And Facebook is Ragnar Rider Shop Talk. Look us up. Communicate with us. Look, our whole goal in this process is to get to know you guys. We have one of our how shall I say this without stepping on any toes? We have one of our YouTube, I guess, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Anyway, they do YouTube they've been doing it for a while. They're pretty popular. They like to say that they're shaking hands with America, and I think that's a good slogan. That's not our slogan, but we do want to get to know you guys. We want you to communicate back to us. So if you've got any questions, any thoughts, any comments, accolades, or condemns, just, hey, shoot it to us. We'll be glad to hear you. Look us up on all the social media. And for the meantime, we'll see you next time. God bless.
So.
Oh.